Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today the weather just can't seem to make up its mind. 1 minute it's gray and rainy, then sunny and hot, then dark and windy. So, in essence, a perfect day to stay indoors and watch Hera playing as the Turks in blue take on FreakinAndy playing as the Malay in orange. Now while the players herd their herdables explore their immediate and closed off surroundings because we are on Arena, but the Warlords version, which is why the players started with 2 houses, 9 villagers, and why the map is a little bit different than your standard arena, which we'll go over in a second. But the name of the game is the same. The players are going to try to get their butts up to Castle Age ASAP, and so that gives us a bit of an opportunity to take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Turks are a civilization built around their love of gunpowder. Their gunpowder units are created faster, have extra HP, come with cheaper technologies, and some of their gunpowder units can be upgraded to get extra range. Now, staying on brand, their unique unit is the Janissary. This is a more expensive but less accurate hand cannoneer with more HP, a better attack, and more armor, but no bonus against infantry units. Now, to support these heavy but expensive units on the battlefield, the Turks can field some pretty decent supporting units. Their scout line units come with extra pierce armor. Their cav archers can be upgraded to get 20 extra HP, and their scout line units automatically become light cav and then automatically become hussars in the castle and then the Imperial Age, which gives Turks access to top of the line light cavalry / raiding / villager killing monk sniping machines the second they hit those ages. Now, in order to be able to afford their gunpowder units, which are pretty darn gold intensive, Turkish gold miners do work 20% faster. They get the chemistry upgrade free of charge, and that upgrade that I mentioned where their scouts become light cav, become hussars, that saves them 1,300 resources. Among that is 650 gold. Now, pivoting to the eastern shores of Arena, where we have a FreakinAndy playing as the frickin' Malay and frickin' Orange, a naval civilization, but one that comes with a few late game land features that are ridiculously powerful. To start with, their battle elephants become progressively cheaper in castles, starting at 25% off and then 35% off in Imperial. They get all infantry armor upgrades for free, so we'll keep an eye on the top right of our screen. Just like the Koreans get all the archer armor upgrades for free, the Malay get the infantry version of that. Their militia line units, rather, can be upgraded to cost only food, no gold. And so while they don't actually get champions, this upgrade, when combined with supplies, turns their two-handed swordsman into a pretty darn cheap trash unit that only costs 65 food. Lastly, once the walls have been breached, if they do get breached, to help you raid your opponent's base, the Malay can turn to their unique unit, the Karambit Warrior. This is an incredibly cheap, super fast, but overall kind of weak infantry unit that only takes up half of population space. And so if you've got 30 of them, well, they only take up 15 population room. Now, in order to help you advance to the late game and get these features upgrade units as fast as possible, the Malay do advance to the next age 66% faster than normal, which means you can either rush your butt up to the next stage, or if you prefer, maybe hang around, squeeze some of these lemons into a nice glass, add a little bit of hibiscus, and then take your time as you meander your way through the ages. Those are the 2 civilizations we've got before us, and now let's take a look at the map, because there are a few differences in this version of Arena that I'm noticing compared to your standard, your mom and pop version of Arena. To start with, I see elevation on the mini map. At least it's kind of hidden here, all these various birch trees, but there is elevation, which doesn't really exist in your normal Arena game. Oh, wait a second, we've got a bit of a scuffle at the 6.5 minute mark of the game. Second, what I notice, maybe it's just this particular map, but the actual arena itself is much smaller, or rather much more constrained. There's not a lot of room to the back. Usually we see big areas of expansion and room to expand to the back. Here, there's not so much of that. So the players are kind of squeezed in real nice and tight, and we'll see how well they manage to handle that. So I'm not expecting a deviation from the standard arena meta. Usually there's 3 parts. In the first one, the players try to rush their butts up to Castle Age. And once they rush their butts up to Castle Age, stage 2 begins, where they begin fighting over these gravity physics-defying relics that are genetically imprinted so that only monks can carry. I guess monks and warrior priests can carry them, like kind of like the Mjolnir spell. And then once all 5 relics have been gathered and accounted for, have been taken to the various monasteries of the players, well, then stage 2 ends and stage 3 begins, where the players basically build big ol' armies and try to bash their opponents to death with ones and zeros and animations on the screen. Not in real life, of course. I'm pretty sure these two guys are friends, and pretty sure they're all kind of friends, these high elo players. So let's take a look. FreakinAndy, off the back of 27 villagers, has reached the next age quicker. Of course, he is the Malay, remember? They go up to the next age much faster. A stable, a market for him. So he's going to start pumping out scouts, I'm assuming, once he gets the 800 food needed to go up to Castle Age, and now has the ability to start banking food and spending it on something other than going up to the next stage. I expect to see some cavalry out of him. Let's see what Hera's doing, as he himself has the resources to go up to Castle Age as well. TC's a little bit idle. Hera. There you go. Okay, so a little bit of idle time for our Turk. Not the end of the world. He is now down just one villager and is heading up. Now, the cool thing about the Malay, Andy does have a head start. And not only that, it takes them a minute, more than a minute less. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. The usual uptime to castle is 160 seconds. For the Malay, 96. And so they save 64 seconds, rather their 64 seconds are shaved off of the amount of time needed. So he clicked up first, and he's the Malay. Oh, we've seen this so frequently lately. I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. Putting your monastery down immediately as part of your wall off, and once you delete, I guess one of the villagers needed to be re-instructed, re-educated. And so I get it. I get why they do it. The monk pops out immediately, gets the relic, pops back in, and then maybe you can ferry the relic backwards to your heart's desire. But you've now deleted 3 stone walls with 1800 HP, replaced it with a monastery, which, fair enough, has 2100 HP, but not the same armor. 2-9 is not the same as 8-10. And so melee attacks against that monastery will take it down much quicker than the stone wall, though. There are units in the game that come with a bonus against stone wall. So, as always in Age of Empires, not really a 100% correct answer to a question, unless that question is, I guess, can a boyar kill a villager one-on-one full HP? I guess then it's a fairly simple situation. But Hera, remember, does not need to research any upgrades for these scouts, which became light cavalry units automatically. And that's why you see FreakinAndy is still stuck on those scouts, whereas our Turk already has 4 light cavs circling both players. Similar game style, similar mentality. Second town center for both. Malay goes up first. He is ahead now, 5 villagers. And looks like the first relic has been taken by him. He's getting the ones in the immediate vicinity. Maybe having seen that Hera is not really on the map aside from these 4 scouts. Ooh, potential collision course here. FreakinAndy might want to get a little bit more aggressive with his monk play. Let's keep an eye on Hera's vision. He sees the spearman going this way. He knows, by the way, that the scout is up there. Oh, that is sour. The first kill of the game, though, at the 14-minute mark. Hera draws first blood with his better upgraded light cavalry unit and gets a second kill. But does FreakinAndy care? His monk is now returning home. I guess another benefit of having your monastery as part of your wall off, you can drop off relics to the rear. You can drop off relics to the front. You can drop off relics wherever the hell you'd like to drop off relics. As now he discovers, or had already discovered this one. I'm not too sure why his scout is going there. Perhaps seeking this, trying to find out if Hera's plopped a spearman or any kind of unit there to kill the monk. And now he's going to do the same thing over here. And seeing the relics completely unguarded, undefended, he's probably going to be very happy about that. But he also, with this monk in the vision, sees these light cavalry units patrolling like a hungry shark. FreakinAndy, 3 relics to 0. Hera says, I see, I get the standard meta. I know what I'm about. I've played this game before, but perhaps not as interested in gathering relics. Where is his monk, by the way? He's got his light cav, he separated them. Okay, so now his monk is interested in gathering the relics, and FreakinAndy's gonna see it. Will he be able to snipe it? No, he turns around, he gets a little scared seeing those 2 light cavalry units. I love the positioning of Hera's light cav, by the way, to the south and to the north, keeping an eye on the attack avenues to get that monk. And now he's probably going to do the same thing here. Will he split up his 4 into 2 groups of 2? Or perhaps not, that he sees 2 spearmen now. So the predator of the predator are out. And the spearman wants to get the light cav as the light cav wants to get the monk. FreakinAndy creating a bit of a double wall off. Both players adding in 3rd town centers. And so both players are now the exact same population, 46, and it looks like phase 2 of the game is going to be over. I was literally about to count down 3, 2, 1 there. Okay, finally, 3, 2, 1. And phase 2 of the game is over. The relics have been accounted for now. The players didn't exactly tear into each other. Didn't exactly contest the relics very much. Hera getting 3 of all 3 kills are Hera's, essentially. And so let's see, I guess now the name of the game will be who can rush up to Imperial first, because I don't really see any move out of villagers. I don't see anyone trying to plop down any kind of military industrial complex anywhere. Hera does have a barracks and a stable, and of course the barracks and the stable for our Malay as well, so they can get those scout units out. But aside from that, okay, we're having a bit of a build-up, which can be pretty damn exciting in a few minutes once the players do actually build their armies up. But for now, Hera's looking for some kind of damage. Looks like a Malay monk is looking for some kind of conversion. And they disappear back into the darkness, into the ether. A 4th town center for our Turk, who's down 4 villagers now. Andy's resources are climbing. They're much, much better than Hera's, but Hera's also getting handcar, which is going to roid up his economy nicely. Andy might as well just buy the last 100 bit of food if he's already rushing up to the next age. He's got 1,400 gold, 800 food. So Hera, by the time he finishes this 4th town center, might be in a bit of trouble. Maybe? We'll see what Andy decides to do with his... now he's clicking up to Imperial. We'll see what Andy decides to do with his 100 and about 2-minute advantage once he hits Imperial. Although I shouldn't say 2-minute advantage. Hera's nowhere even close. He might have more than a 2-minute advantage in Imperial Age. Hera is surprisingly just staying inside his base. Okay. So playing a little coy, a little shy, inviting some aggression is our Turk, who now perhaps realizes that he's being a little bit too defensive and wants to see, hey, where are your villagers? Is anything moving out? Is anything coming towards me? Let's see what kind of reaction I can get poking the bear here. Poking, I guess not the bear, poking the elephant. As he attacks this, this is basically just to, again, evoke a reaction out of your opponent. Or maybe Hera's just bored. Doesn't seem to be really patrolling with his light cav, so I might as well just right-click over here, see if he can catch a monk or two out of position. But instead, what he's being rewarded with is a nice Feudal Age army. Look at this. Andy is bringing one of everything. A scout, spearmen, archers. Where are the villagers? There they are. 4 villagers behind this 5th building a house. He's got 247 stone, so not exactly at risk of a castle drop is our Turk. Is Andy going archer play? Okay, interesting. So does not want to go cheaper elephants, doesn't want to go karambits, doesn't want to go forced levy, which is, you know, not really to blame him with the infantry route, because, again, the Turks with their gunpowder units are just going to absolutely demolish any kind of infantry. But let's see what he decides to do. For now, he is going up to crossbows. Now, aside from missing hand cannoneers... Okay, he bought the stone, so never mind the fact that he didn't have 650 stone. He just buys it. Hera, by the way, should have seen this. Yeah, he sees it. I'm assuming he's going arbalest is our Malay. I mean, he's not the Persian. He's not going to get stuck on crossbows here. But they have basically every single upgrade for their foot archers, the Malay. It's really their mounted archers where they're not that great. I don't think they get, like... they don't get heavy cav archers, they don't get Parthian tactics, but everything else they pretty much get. And so let's see a big ball of Malay arbalests, while in a minute and a half, Hera, okay, husbandry, chain barding armor, he's very much going towards cavalry. We'll see what specific cavalry it is, but it's Hera, it's the Turks, he gets hussars for free. And so, what, there's about 130% chance that he's going to go Hussar play, if I had to guess. But we'll see. 48 seconds away. FreakinAndy wants to bust into here. Hera has made no secondary defense and is making no effort to make a secondary defense. FreakinAndy must be seeing this and saying, okay, you've got something a-cooking. You've got something up in here to the back of your base. and he moves in. Let's see what he discovers. Let's see his line of sight, what he finds out. Sees a villager, sees the monastery, but by the way, Hera has already ferried the relics out of here to the rear. Oh, look how nice and secure this monastery is. Beautiful play out of Hera, who of course is going Hussars. There you go. You know, when I was starting the channel, it's a daunt. First of all, any kind of adventure, any kind of doesn't matter if it's content creation, doesn't matter if you're starting a new job, you're starting to date somebody new. New things are always a bit daunting. And the daunting thing for me was, you know, you watch all the casts, Mem, T90, all the greats. They know all the players inside and out. They know what the players are going to do. I shouldn't say they know. They can predict very well what the players are going to do. Whereas as a newcomer, it was always a bit daunting for me. Okay, you know, the way Mem speaks about Mr. Yo so casually. Oh, he's this kind of player and he's that kind of player. For me, was always, ooh, will I be able to? But now that I've seen a few Hera games, and now that I've seen him live stream for the last year and a half, I can pretty comfortably say the man likes his Hussars. That being said, 2 castles are going to be here to greet him. Not a lot of infantry, though. FreakinAndy, by the way, has... Okay, no, he does see that there's a rear end. So Hera might have been... might be trying to be a little bit too cheeky, posturing to the front, keeping an army to the back. I'm assuming he's going to try to strike from 2 directions at once. Let's zoom out a little bit. And he's moving out, and he's building infrastructure to the north of the map. FreakinAndy, where are your barracks? Tell me he's got more than just the 1 barracks if he's adding halberdiers. He's got 1 barracks. Okay, so he is striking with bombards to the left. Hussars to the right. Good catch and good game sense out of Hera to catch these guys before they became arbalests. Finally, they do become arbalests, but there's just way too few numbers here. There is artillery for our Turks. So remember how I mentioned some gunpowder units come with extra range? Take a look at that range. 14, the longest hitting balls in the game for bombard cannonballs. Okay, so I thought it was going to be a double attack by Hussars. It is not. Now Hera, having lost his army to the right, moves in to clear up the center, and he's going to get all of the bombard cannons. These Hussars are Turkish, and so they come with extra pierce armor, fully upgraded. Look, I'm trying to click on one. 7 pierce armor means that they're not even going to be afraid of castles, although castles plural is a little bit of a misnomer since one has already fallen, the second is halfway to its death. And what is this? Now FreakinAndy at the 30-minute mark is popping down infrastructure? Too little too late? Let's see. Another town center up here, not happy with mining camps. Hera's ahead, 5 villagers, he was down, and now with the loss of 2 castles, our Malay is supply blocked. Population blocked, whatever the heck you want to call it. Another monastery. Ooh, redemption. I don't even know if redemption is going to be good enough. With block printing 12 range, I don't know that you're going to be able to beat out Hera's micro with the bombard. You got to try, though. Another monastery. 2 more barracks. This is infrastructure that should have gone up 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes ago. Not now. Oh, Hera goes after the villagers saying, your monastery is no threat to me. And so I'm just going to attack the units that are building it. Andy, by the way, has left his relics to the front here. And so unlike Hera, who... what's the word I'm looking for? Sent them home? Hussars, okay. They have a bit of a change of heart. They are no longer war-hungry Hussars. They are very much friendly, but no, now some new ones. pervy Hussars. Just standing and watching those villagers. Looks like some halberdiers are trying to get some work done here as well, but there are a lot of bombard cannons. 8 bombard cannons, 13 kills on them, and they are not... Actually, are they enough to one-shot buildings now? Let's take a look. They're not really attacking buildings. They're kind of attacking units, which is fantastic. Hera flexing his attack grounds. No, they're not quite enough to one-shot the monastery, which survives with just a little bit. Good splits from Andy, but still manages to take some damage. Oh, that's not good. Will he be able to stop this castle from going up? Bombard balls are landing everywhere. Andy's going to have to micro his heart out right now. Good splits, but he's going to need a lot more army. Where are the numbers for our Malay? This is what happens when you have the resources: 1,000 gold, 1,300 wood. What you don't have is the actual military industrial ability to pop out units. I'm gonna zoom out, even though I apologize. 4 barracks. Where the hell's the archery range? This is a siege workshop. There's the archery range. 3 archery ranges. Your opponent already has 8 bombard cannons on the field. But for now, the castle has been stopped. Why are you attacking this villager with just 2 halberdiers? You've got some... Oh, such good splits here from our Malay, but now he's facing cav archers. No Sepahi just yet. And so with bloodlines, they are stuck at 50 plus 20 HP. I mean, stuck at 70 HP is still pretty damn good for what essentially amounts to a quicker moving archer unit. And now Andy's northern infrastructure is coming under attack. Hera doesn't care. He's here with his hussars. Their extra pierce armor is keeping them safe. Or at least, if not safe, then he's got enough structures here to replace them immediately. There's Sepahi, adds another 20 HP to the cav archers. There's Thumb Ring, there's padded archer armor, there's Parthian tactics. Very, very soon. Okay, maybe not. I was gonna say very, very soon, our Malay is gonna be facing a very mobile, very heavy, very hard-hitting cavalry army. But Andy just unable to follow through with the attack. I mean, he had the 2 castles. I wonder if instead of that second castle, he should have built barracks. Instead of that mining camp, he should have built barracks. Look at his wood count. How do you die with 1,700 wood and, what did we say, 4 barracks? Okay, a 5th one is being, actually, no, nowhere close. It just plopped. It's a barracks in potential, not really a barrack in actuality. And so he loses control of his relics, loses the 2 forward castle, the 3 forward barracks, loses whatever the hell was here, and now he's losing his castle. Or rather, as I try to click on it and can't, I realize that he has just lost that 3rd castle. And not that he really needs castles at the moment, except for perhaps trying to zone out some of these quicker moving Turkish units. Not really going karambits, but just no infrastructure. Andy played it so safe. I mean, Hera did too. There was a moment there in the game where I was wondering, are we going to see a 4-kill game? A 3-kill game? What is going on with these 2 guys? And then the action erupted, as it always does on Arena. But Andy didn't follow through with the infrastructure. And so he was building barracks when Hera was already here with his army. And Hera sent that band of roving hussars to try to rear-end any possibly villagers or any reinforcements. And ultimately, he waited, bided his time, pushed back, got his Imperial Age Turkish army, which if you've ever played against the Imperial Age Turks, you know is quite the pain in the ass to fight against, and then demolished Andy's forward position, pushed out methodically, placed down his infrastructure, and now he's here to the center. Now he's crushed a 3rd castle, and now Andy, he literally has nothing. He's down half the army count, and even though he's got a much better villager population, and even though he's got a lot more resources, like Pharaoh, he is taking them all to the grave. Let's take a look at the stats. 96 hussars, 61 halberdiers, 15 cav archers, 51 arbalest. You'd think this combo of 112, yeah, right? 112. Okay, I know my math. 112 against 96 hussars would have done a little bit better, but unfortunately, it wasn't 112 versus 96. It was like 15 versus 30. And then another 10 versus 30, and then another 10 versus 30, and then another 10 and 2 versus all of this. And so Andy just not able to get the ball that he needed of death units, a death ball as some would call it, in time for our Turk, and our Turk just then overwhelmed his opponent. The economy's not that dissimilar. A lot more food for our Turk. Everything else, even gold, which is surprising when you go up against civs that have gold-related bonuses like the Turks. Surprising that FreakinAndy has about 2,600 more gold than his opponent. A little bit more wood, barely a little bit more stone, but there's your hussar spam. 7,000 more food for our Turk. Relic gold also not really playing a role here with just about 600 difference. No conversions, 14 raises for our Turk, only 5. I'm surprised our Malay even got 5. Well, what the hell did he raise? The monastery that was here? A few houses? Ultimately, Andy, despite being the one to aggress first, despite puncturing his opponent's base. 2 castles were up. There was just no follow through in this game for him. And unfortunately, that means when the Turk gets to Imperial, there's civs in the game that peak power spikes are a very popular term in any kind of RTS game. The Turks, a powerful civilization. Don't get me wrong, Castle Age is not that. They're not exactly weaklings in Castle Age, but Imperial Age with 14 range bombard cannons, how many kills? 35 kills for only friendly fire. That is a fantastic statistics. That is only 10% friendly fire. 90% of those are opposing kills. The last thing you want to do is face the Turks like this, where they've got a meat shield, a secondary wall of projectiles, and then the primary death dealer here, which, if it's not bombing the hell out of your army, is wreaking havoc on your infrastructure. And Hera just creates the perfect Turkish army here to fight what his opponent has produced. And unfortunately, Andy just couldn't get the numbers up. He couldn't get it up. And if he had 5 or 6 barracks here in the forward position, if he could spam a few more halberdiers, it doesn't even have to be barracks. It could have been 3 barracks, 3 archery ranges, instead of having to, build them emergency over here, over here, over here. Maybe he could have pumped out a bigger army. Maybe he could have withstood the Turkish attempt to break out of his base. Maybe he could have kept pushing in. But maybe doesn't mean jack shit in Age of Empires. What is in front of us is what matters, and what's in front of us is Hera held the 2 castle bust in push out of our Malay, repels it, and then explodes onto the minimap, explodes into the northern portion of the map itself with 6 stables, 7 archery ranges. And so, again, in my opinion, agree, disagree. Obviously, never going to critique what either of these players are doing, even though sometimes it obviously does sound like I am. But never going to second guess what these players are, 2,700 Elos are doing. I would have maybe loved to see a few more stables. Archery ranges, I think 7 is enough if you're transitioning later on into a unit. But if you were going to spam Hussars, although I guess 6 is enough if FreakinAndy wasn't really pushing into you, right? FreakinAndy was here with some crossbows, and so Hera had the time to just produce and produce and produce units over and over and over again. And with those units he produced with the meat shield, the projectiles, and the big steel balls, or whatever the hell cannonballs are made out of, I don't know. My medieval metallurgy, maybe lead or steel or something. Skulls and bones, grounded up powder. I have no freaking clue. Hera takes the map. Hera takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.